And I had that one video that I think it's like 150K now. This thumbnail was performing the best. This title was performing the best. Why don't I just use this title and this thumbnail together and kind of make that series out of it for all of my vlogs and see what happens? And that's when I started to take off. We'll put in a clip from somewhere within the vlog. Boys, we're in and out. It's 6 a.m. We're gonna go for a fucking morning swim. I mean, we already have, but like, look at this shit. We'll run that for the first 5 to 10 seconds to hook people. Then we kind of go into an edit, have some nice cinematic shots, have the text, and then we'll go into the intro. I think YouTube packaging is the most important thing, and like almost like a series that people can follow along. I want people bought into me rather than the video. So I didn't want people to be like, oh, this is Dubai supercars, like I'm gonna watch this, or like I didn't want people attached to the video idea, but more attached to me as a person, and like, this is Finn in Dubai, oh, I wanna watch this. If you look at me, if you look at you, Toby, Daniel Day, and like any of these people, like they all have their own style. And so it's like the idea that you think that you're gonna be able to grow your account from just doing everything that that person does, it's unrealistic. And it's also a personal brand. It's meant to be about you, not meant to be a brand about someone else.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're the one that's copying and you can't think for yourself, you're never gonna be ahead. You're never gonna be in front. You're always gonna be number two. What are you doing to be able to accelerate your growth?
It always just comes down to doing shit that I don't want to do. I remember when I first started making content, like I would never bring my camera out in public. I would look at what you really want out of life and understand that like, fuck, I've literally got one life. I could die tomorrow. Would I be happy if I died tomorrow?
Finn.
What is cracking, bro?
Bro, how are you?
I'm amazing, bro. We're here in Japan. We're here in Niseko. We literally met each other like 60 hours ago, if that. And it's been a fucking blast. Been getting some of the craziest content. And I feel like the growth has been insane. It's been a pleasure to meet you, bro. And we're just sitting here and we're like, fuck, why not have a chat about content? Obviously, my YouTube's starting to take off. Your short form's going fucking crazy. So, you know, as entrepreneurs that don't do content necessarily full time and do have our own businesses, like, how the fuck do we make it work?
Bro, we just get up and make it work, man. Because, like, I mean, I'm going to ask you to begin with. You've been doing this content a lot longer than I have. And so, like, it's been a pleasure to sit back, watch a fellow Finn absolutely fucking crush it. And, like, be able to just see what's possible. And from the outside looking in, you see that there is so much upside to this content game. And the difficult part that everyone struggles with is being an entrepreneur, running a business, and then having enough time to prioritize doing the content. And I feel like this is a sick conversation because you're going to be able to unload exactly how you run the whole content side of things, bro. Because you have a personal brand that you don't even know how big it is, bro. Like, there is so many people that are talking about Finn Kwong behind Finn Kwong's back, and it's all good things. And so I'm going to start off asking, like, the YouTube for your end has absolutely started crushing it.
Yeah.
How much time and attention do you put onto that YouTube, and then what's the plan with YouTube moving forward?
Plan with YouTube is, yeah, it's definitely a big focus at the moment. I would say more than short form. You know, short form is good and all, but I think long form is where longevity at. And if you can crack long form, like, in reality, you never need short form. So I would say, I guess the plan right now is to just figure out how I can continue building my audience, continue growing, and continue just reaching as many entrepreneurs as I can possible. The last thing I'd want to do is just make content for the sake of entertainment. Like, I always want to give value and always want to help other people out.
But, like, how do you do it, bro? Like, dude, like you're killing it. Like, what's the details?
Yeah, I think in terms of details, I would say having a killer fucking team and a bunch of A players to help you execute the vision. Because I can see you, bro. You have a really good creative vision. And you know what needs to be executed. And that's why I say it's like, if you just had a filmmaker with you full time and you had the people around you where you can just execute and push things out at an insane speed, like, that's what kind of takes it to the next level. And that's what happened with me, which was, and what I do recommend to any entrepreneur out there is, like, get a filmmaker that can come and travel with you. Like, Marcel did it, everyone I know has done it, and it's what opens your mind to what is possible, but also allows you to focus on the business, focus on the things that you're good at, without having to invest time in trying to learn how to color grade, trying to learn how to edit and getting the best shots. Like, you save so much time, and you also have someone that's actually better than you. So in terms of how does it actually work is, one, hiring the right people is what I would say. And then two is just consistency. Like, I've posted a YouTube video pretty much every week for the last nearly year now. It's been about 10, 11 months. And for the first 6 months, I think I went from like 2K subscribers to like 5K, which was like fucked. Like, I was like, bro, I'm literally posting a video every single week. I was traveling to like Italy, Marbella, like going all these crazy places. And like, I wasn't seeing the same result I was seeing on short form. But then eventually that compounded and I started to understand how it actually worked. I started to understand my YouTube packaging, and I had that one video that I think it's like 150K now. And now my account's at like 16.5K, I think, subscribers, and growing. I think in the last couple of weeks, I've got 5K subscribers. So I would say it comes down to, obviously, one, like, YouTube is a long game. It's long form content, but it's also like the long-term game. So you have to be willing to do it and not see any result for a long period of time. Whereas short form is more like you can see that faster feedback loop of what's working.
Okay. So, like, run it back though, because what are you doing well? Because, like, dude, I'm gonna be real. Like, obviously we both live in Bali. Frequent Bali. And so, like, one thing I noticed is you absolutely cracked your own format. And I don't know if anyone's touched on this, but like the living dream life, I feel like that's Finn Kwong's format, bro. I've ripped it, bro. I've ripped it, to be fair. I've ripped on a few videos because I want some of them Finn Kwong views, bro.
Yeah.
So, like, I think, like, you could look at other entrepreneurs, other creators, and they have their own sort of style, their own sort of format.
Yeah.
And like living the dream life with the super clean thumbnail, the beautiful title, like location pin at the top. Was that intentional? Like, how did you land to that?
No, I would say that was just an experience thing. Like, we just put out so many reps to the point where it was super clear. I was like, what's going to work? We're like, okay, this thumbnail was performing the best. And then we tried a different video and like this title was performing the best. And so we're like, okay, we'll kind of had that light bulb moment. It's like, why don't I just use this title and this thumbnail together and kind of make that series out of it for all of my vlogs and see what happens? And yeah, that's when it started to take off.
So, dude, like, one thing that I've like had to really try and deep dive on with my content and my business's content is like really nailing the packaging. So what you've just said there is you find a title that's working well, you find a thumbnail that's working well, you find a packaging concept that's working well, double down on that. That's fine. So the viewer clicks on the video, but then what? Like, there was one thing that I noticed with your vlogs. It like when I click on it, I'm instantly like, okay, this is fucking sick. So, like, can you run me through okay, they've clicked on the video, then what happens with your style of content when you deep dive into it?
Yeah, I think, like, with building my YouTube, it was always like, I want people bought into me rather than the video. So I didn't want people to be like, oh, this is Dubai supercars, like, I'm going to watch this. Or like, this is how much it costs to, like, for example, buy a Lamborghini in Dubai. Like, I didn't want people attached to the video idea, but more attached to me as a person. And like, this is Finn in Dubai. Oh, I want to watch this. And so then when I go back home to Sydney or I go to Bali or I'm doing something that's not as exciting, it's like people are bought into you rather than bought into like whatever the fuck you're doing. So that was the first thing where I was like getting people bought into me. So then when I was actually making the content, it had that effect of like people wanting to stick around and actually watch it because they were bought into me more. But then also, like I said, like having an A player, having a really good editor that understands storytelling. Like, they don't have to be the best graphics, the best animations. I think storytelling is more important on YouTube. It doesn't need all of these crazy edits, but it needs to be able to tell the story. And like we kind of talked about before, like you see in most of my YouTube videos, especially in a vlog, is like we'll put in a clip from somewhere within the vlog. We'll run that for the first 5 to 10 seconds to hook people. And you can tell that that's not at the start of the vlog. You can tell that's somewhere else because it's not an intro. Then we kind of go into an edit, have some nice cinematic shots, have the text, and then we'll go into the intro. Now, the intro is usually like 30 seconds to a minute, and then we're back on to another edit with sound, whatever it is. A perfect example of this is in my Amalfi Coast video. If you watch it, you can see how the cadence is always switching up. There's a different storytelling, and you're kind of getting taken along this journey rather than just like, hey guys, my name's Finn. Today we're in Italy, and now we're going to go do this, and now we're here, and now we're going to go do this, and now it's 6 p.m. and we're going to work. And you know what I mean? It's just like very boring and monotone. So it's more telling a story and having that cadence.
Dude, can I ask you though? You mentioned before and you touched on like having a videographer and having a filmmaker, right? Not everyone has the network, the capital, or even the know-how. Because I would say, in my experience, you can throw money at a problem, but you can't fix the problem if you don't understand the concepts, basics yourself. I think we both have a fundamentally strong foundation when it comes to creating content, and so the Amalfi Coast video. Did you have a videographer for that?
I did and I didn't. So Marcel had a videographer there who filmed a lot of the shots, but I also was filming a lot of it myself. So I filmed most of the content myself as well.
So then, basically, like the reason I asked is because I'm saying it doesn't have to be a videographer.
It doesn't have to be. I think it would have been better with a videographer, but then also, like you said before, you need the foundational skills. And what do you think the quickest way to learn those foundational skills are? Have a fucking videographer living with you, right? Like that's how I learn a lot of my skills, which is having a videographer there that could basically film everything for me, and then teach me as well at the same time, and understand this is why he's shooting this shot, and this is why he's taking this photo, and this is why he's using this song. So it's also a way of learning. So then now when I am on my own and I don't have a videographer there, I can kind of keep that quality up as well.
So can you run me through like your whole setup? Can you tell me the software stack? Can you tell me the camera, the gear? Like what would you recommend and what do you use? Like, does the gear matter?
I don't think the gear matters. No, I don't think. I think I've seen people kill it with DJI, Osmo Pocket. I made a whole video on like what camera I use, which I can link in the description, but I basically use Sony CV1, 16 to 35mm lens. Pretty much used that setup for the last year. In terms of my team, I have, for YouTube specifically, I just have one editor that helps me with the thumbnails as well. Keep it super simple, straightforward, and I've also just used him since I've started my first vlog. He's also friends with my filmmaker, which makes it super easy, but I've used the same guy for the last year. And so it's like, I'm not just changing editors every time because he fucks something up or whatever it is. It's like, I trust him and I value him and I know he's, really good. And so it's like, I'm going to continue to work with him because I'm going to get way more of a return of investment at a longer period of time. Whereas if I was just trying to get a cheaper editor every single, month and changing. In terms of softwares, I wouldn't say I use too many except for just frame.io, which I'm pretty sure if you're not using frame.io, I don't know what you're doing, but I use Frame and then I just organize all of my content. One thing with me for social media is like I film everything for YouTube. So all of my content is shot for YouTube, and then it gets cut into short form for Instagram. But I just organize it all, I color grade it all, and upload it. And then my editor usually just will go in and he can kind of put his own creative touch on it and tell a story. And if there is anything that I, want to add in or I want to change, I'll just tell him in the revisions. And then he's also got a pretty good graphic design experience, so he can help with the thumbnails as well. And then he has, because he's Spanish, it's sometimes funny when he comes up with the titles because they're like a little bit off, but I understand the ideas he's going for. And so I kind of convert that to English and yeah, it looks sick.
Fuck yeah, bro. Nah, dude, the content like is crazy, man. And it's like, I think it's super cool because we obviously all saw the POV format. I think if you keep ripping the Dream Life, we're going to start seeing a lot of DJI Osmo creators ripping the Dream Life content, man.
I think YouTube packaging is, if not the most important thing, and like kind of having almost like a series that people can follow along, and a certain thumbnail and a certain title and a certain way you edit the videos and a certain value and story behind. Like all of my content on YouTube is me basically documenting the journey and showing what I'm building, why I'm building it, and me traveling and just like navigating life as an entrepreneur.
Dude, one thing I noticed though is like you're building only earned, right? Dude, that's a cheat code for the content, bruv. Because like it's literally like a place for entrepreneurs to come together, good quality entrepreneurs, and create sick content.
Yeah.
And then it's like a network effect where it's like they create content, and it's like a positive viral loop. Because like everyone wants to live the dream life, right? But you're actually living the dream life because you're going on these trips. So like, was that intentional to like build only earned? Was it something you built for yourself? Was it like, what, can you tell me more about that, Brev?
So it's something I've always been doing, and I was thankful because I had a personal brand that I was able to do these trips. I knew enough people to be like, okay, if we want to go to Amalfi Coast, like I can run a trip and we have a couple of the boys that are willing to come along and make content. So I think the real vision behind it was like, how can I bring this experience to other people? you know, that want to get into content, but also want to travel and meet other entrepreneurs. Like you've probably seen, it's so much more fun creating content. Like you've obviously traveled with Toby, but when you have so many other guys filming and you're helping them film and they're helping you film, and now your content's starting to cross-pollinate, like you're just having more characters in the content as well. You know, it's not just me the whole time and just me selfie filming. It's like there's so many different characters. You got Marcel, you got Noel, like different guys in the content. But I think with Only Earn is like having the ability to come on these trips and film content. I've already seen so many of the guys' personal brands inside Only Earn like start to go fucking crazy. And that's just because we were filming shots and they were using them and they were basically making similar content but more within their creative direction and understanding, okay, if I go and travel with content creator entrepreneurs that are already pulling in millions of views, that's going to help my account. So they kind of understand the concept of like traveling with other entrepreneurs, especially when they wanted to build a personal brand. So it's been pretty cool to see, is like watching our, you know, I've been doing this for the last year. And so seeing other guys that were in my position a year ago coming on a trip, starting to learn content, starting to get confident in front of the camera, not feel embarrassed to film because we're all filming, we're all being fuckwits half the time, and then see the return and actually see the results for doing that.
Dude, also like it's low-key a little it's a little cheat code, bruv. Because like last night we were speaking and you were watching my new vlog that was coming out, and it was like it was basically like a one-to-one fucking mentorship session, bruv. You know what I mean? So being able to like actually come IRL where you can get the Fin Kwong seal of approval and be able to like really like see how you see it.
Well, it's like we're already on like day 3 and I feel like every single person here has like leveled up some way. You know what I mean? Like has gained knowledge from someone or seen a new way of thinking, or you know, whether it's color grading, like Sam understanding how color grading works. Even me, like I fucking still need to learn. I'm probably going to hit you up after this, show me how to color grade. But there's so many different like changes happening just because you're surrounded by guys that are proficient in that skill. And so it would be stupid for you to not ask me to review your vlog because like I'm right here anyway, may as well do it. And it would be stupid for me to not ask you to teach me how to get better at color grading and just transfer this knowledge. And so it's like, that's cool and all for a couple of days, but it's like you can see the effect when you're doing this year round and you're constantly going on different trips with other entrepreneurs and you're constantly being with people who are better than you, but you're also kind of getting access to like another whole like lifetime of like experience is what I found is like, you know, for example, if you've been spending so much time on color grading and learning how to color grade and for example, and like learning all of these little skills that now that when I see you, it's like you can transfer that knowledge. And instead of me having to spend all that time that you just spent, like it's a lot quicker and it speeds things up. So it's like we're all out here learning different skills and then just sharing those skills with each other, which makes the whole process so much easier.
Yeah, bro. I think it's also a massive cheat code because the way that like learning is evolving with like all these info businesses blowing up and like you got these kids that are like 17 years old printing cash. Dude, they're 17. They've been doing business for 6-12 months. Like, what real experience do they have? And the real thing is, it's like they're selling information and they're positioning themselves to be the authority. And it's like their way or the highway. Because if you don't run with their way, then their information isn't valuable. But the benefit I've had being like on this Japan trip so far is getting different perspectives from everybody involved, everyone inside IRL. And being able to have those micro conversations, which is allowing me to take 1 or 2 things away and really apply it to myself, my content, my business. Because like you can't get that from like a guru, because like you see the profile visit funnel right now. It's like blowing up. Everyone's talking about the profile funnel. And like, dude, I've run that shit. It fucking sucks, man. From my perspective. Because like if you're running a profile funnel, you're a slave to Meta. Because if Meta disappears, you get banned for no reason. What are you going to do? All your leads on the fucking profile. You're cooked. And so being able to be out here and learn from people who are doing sales, learning the back end of their systems, like, oh, okay, cool. I can apply that for myself and I don't have to do a profile funnel. The reason I bring that up is like people are being rewarded and incentivized to like preach this one method, this one vehicle. I'm sure a few years ago it was the agency model or the drop shipping model. And even now you're seeing like everyone talking about building a personal brand. And like, I think building a personal brand is it's like people just think they have to do it, but then you just see them just like closing their eyes, muddling their way through the dark, because they think it's just something they need to do. They're not actually like building a personal brand for themselves. They're not enjoying the process. They're not developing, improving the personal brand.
Which I thought was super interesting when you were having that conversation with Sam yesterday, when you were telling him like he needs to kind of like venture more into like who is Sam Gillette in his content, and not just like copying or using other people's content, and really like utilizing what he's creative at, because I feel like he does have it into have this style and become, you know, a creator like us, and be one of those entrepreneurs that makes that style of content. But it's just like, how can you break that barrier? Because if you, for example, like if you look at me, if you look at you, Toby, Daniel Day, and like any of these people, like they all have their own style, you know? It's not like me, you and Toby all post the exact same types of videos and with the exact same type of person given the same value. And so it's like the idea that you think that you're going to be able to grow your account from just doing everything that that person does, it's unrealistic. And it's also a personal brand. It's meant to be about you, not meant to be a brand about someone else.
Dude, so many people copy. No one creates, man. Like you'll see some of my reels pop off. Like I don't want to like say I'm like good or anything, but like I don't know if you've seen the trend. Like, I know if I can do it, then why can't you? Like now or never. Yeah. And like I feel like I absolutely dominated that trend. Yeah, it's short form. It's not as powerful as long form. But then all of the copycats that run through, and I'm talking like not just your standard run of the mill like personal brand entrepreneur, but like some of the guys like we look up to as entrepreneurs, they were copying that trend as well. And so it's obvious that they're obviously not in the weeds of their content. They've got a system, they've got a team just running it, and they're not actually behind their personal brand, because you wouldn't be copying blank content of someone else if you're trying to create your own thing. And it's being able to, like, what I've learned from your YouTube vlogs is like being able to like look at your own data in front of you, because you said the title, thumbnail, the packaging, the way you do your vlogs, you want to be yourself, and then using your own data points to like relay, okay, what's working for me, focusing on myself instead of what's looking for other people. Because like if it's performing well, people are going to associate that with the first mover, because the internet is like the first mover captures most of the attention. The first mover will be able to find something that works. People see that and they associate that person with that thing, like with the POV style. Like everyone associates the POV style with one type of person. Yeah. And then also with the red and blue background. Yeah. You know, who do we associate with that? Yeah, exactly. So it's really nice to see that like the people that are really trying to better themselves are improving and thinking for themselves and creating, not copying, and stealing like artists.
Yeah, I think it's like,
because bro, I still like an artist from your shit, bro.
I'm stealing from everyone as well, bro. But it's like I'm doing it in I'm putting my own twist on it. I'm making my own touch. Like I don't think anything's realistically authentic anymore, because there's just so much fucking content out there. Someone's done something. So, and I also think like, if you just look at all the top creators, like they're all doing their own style of content. And so it's like when someone's copying you, it's like, it's a good thing, because you know that, okay, it's working. People are starting to follow the trend, and they're getting impacted so much by your content that they are going out there and making the exact same type of video to essentially get the same result that you're getting. But they will just never benefit off it as much as you will, because you created that style and you are the pioneer in the space. And so if anyone copies your style, it's like, that's cool. Be like, oh, that's Daniel Dalen's like POV. Like that's Daniel Dalen, even though it's some random guy from Russia. You're like, you just tie it back to the name. And so then every day, for example, I was scrolling Instagram. Yes, I'd see some of Daniel Dalen's content, but I was seeing so many people copying Daniel Dalen that I was always just thinking about Daniel Dalen, because all I was seeing is just people copying his shit. And so I think that's what's good, is like it'll help you grow your brand. But it does suck. Like I always see some guys that just rip everything exactly word for word, even sometimes the same shots, or even, you know, using my voice, which was a crazy one. I've seen people use my voice. Obviously I use other people's voices, but it was a bit of a weird experience. But hey, I just
But dude, I'm just gonna. Sorry, bro. You wanna say anything?
I was just gonna say, I find that the people that always just get stuck and held back in their journey are the people that focus on, others rather than themselves. So they focus on people. Oh, this guy's fucking copying me. Fuck this guy. Blah blah blah. I don't think ever once I've gotten hung up because someone's like copied my content. I've always just been like, oh, fuck it, that's cool, whatever, and then just always prioritize my own stuff. So I think like no matter what happens, and it may piss you off, people may steal content, they'll steal your videos, they'll steal your sounds, they'll steal everything. Again, at the end of the day, like worrying about them isn't going to really change anything. You need to just keep pioneering your own content.
But dude, the thing is like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so, like, if you're the one that's copying and you can't think for yourself, look at your life, man. Look at other aspects of your life. Don't look at your personal brand. Look at your business. Are you copying other people's landing pages? Are you copying other people's offers? Are you copying other people's positioning? Are you copying other people's pricing? Are you copying other people's mechanism, strategy, whatever it is? And it's the same principles where you're never going to be ahead. You're never going to be in front. You're always going to be number two.
Yeah.
And dude, this is the hard thing, man. It's like my first proper business that like made decent money when I was 18. Like that was built off of copying something else that someone built. And so like that set me back so far because I didn't understand the principles and the foundations to get me to where I wanted to get to. And the main thing was that the fundamental skills of sales, marketing, and how to understand humans to be able to sell to them and provide real value in the marketplace. And it's the same with content, the same with being an entrepreneur, because like if you don't understand your audience, you don't understand basic marketing and operations for the content side, you're not going to be consistently putting things out. Because if you see a Fin Kwong video, right? And you send it to your editor, you're like, dude, just copy him. The editor's just trying to like copy across, but he doesn't know how to get there. So then he doesn't even understand, and you don't even understand the fundamentals which are required to take your content to the next level. And then you're going to like, yeah, if you see a rise is cool, but then you're going to fall off and you're going to plateau and you're going to have to learn the lesson the hard way. It's going to take longer than it will be. And so my question to you is, what are you doing actively and what positions are you putting yourself in to learn the lessons without doing the hard way? Because one thing I've observed, because I've been like very outside of it all, like you're very well connected in the entrepreneurial Australian Bondi-ish, Bali-ish space. Like in that space, like I think everyone knows who Fin Kwong is. And so like what are you doing to be able to learn as much as possible and be able to like accelerate your growth? Because bro, you're growing quite quick right now, bro. Like what's the method? What's the strategy?
In terms of me as a person or my social media?
What's more important to you? Your business, your content, yourself, everything, life?
I think like kind of like how you said before, as like everything, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I think it's like the same with your personal development. It's like if you are growing as a person and as a human, like your business is going to grow and everything else is going to grow as well. And that's why I put such an emphasis on traveling and like doing really fucking uncomfortable experiences, is because it allows you to grow as a human and like understand what's actually possible and what you're capable of achieving, and seeing the world and seeing all this crazy shit to the point where the level of delusion and what is required to take the steps to do fucking big things doesn't actually feel that hard to achieve, because you have been exposed to so much and you've been influenced by a lot of things. So I think for me, the most important thing is like obviously constantly growing, and it always just comes down to doing shit that I don't want to do and doing uncomfortable things, whether it's presenting. I fucking hate presenting.
Really?
I hate even just like I'm more of an introverted person. And I remember when I first started making content, like I would never bring my camera out in public. I was too scared. And then the way I overcame that, I was like, I flew a filmmaker out and his whole job was to film me, and he would just whip it out in public. And I'm not going to be like, oh bro, I flew here, but I want to film. Like I'd be like, fuck it, I've just got to do it. And eventually, like now, like you as well, like I can literally pull my camera out anywhere and just talk to the camera and not give a fuck about what any random person thinks. So I think for me is just always putting myself in uncomfortable situations, you know, always making sure that I'm being tested and that I'm growing and that I'm not comfortable, because I find the second that I'm comfortable is the second that things start to slow down, things start to get stagnant. And yeah, it's like I'm so obsessed with being better that it's like there's nothing else in this world that I'd rather do than challenge myself and continue to grow. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than, like Marcel always says, like floating through life like a leaf in the wind. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than just cruising through life and being like, I'm just going to have life kind of come at me and just whatever happens, rather than like go out there and actually pave my own way and build my own journey.
How would you tell someone that who's like afraid, worried, fears, has self-doubt, has limiting beliefs?
I would look at what you really want out of life and understand that, like, are you doing the things every single day that's actually getting you closer? Because there's a lot of people that want things, but they don't have enough willpower and strength to actually go out there and want to get after it. And I think for me, it was just like, I reached a breaking point where I was like, and I think it happens to everyone, where you're just like, fuck, I've literally got one life. Like, I literally only have one life. I could die tomorrow. And so it's like, would I be happy on my deathbed, or would I be happy if I died tomorrow? And it's like, for me right now, I would be, because I know that every single day is like, I'm doing the things that I want to do and I'm chasing my goals and I'm living the life I want to live. And so it's like, there's not one point where I'm not trying to, you know, I guess be the person I want to be. So I would like have a look at like your actions and what your actual goals are, because a lot of people are like, oh yes, I want to be successful, I want to do all these things, but then their actions just do not reflect that.
Bro, success is what they want, but they don't even know what it takes, bro. It's true, bro.
That's facts.
Dude, 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 like, the hardest thing is, like, for me was, like, and I don't want to be, like, bro didn't ask a question. I don't want to be, like, fucking, like, just coming out of nowhere. But, like, it took me so much cognitive bandwidth and, like, brain power to get out of the planning, the creation stage, the overthinking stage. Because, like, I remember when I first like started, like, you were like bumping off in the short form, bro. And I was like, fuck, like, this dude's like my age. He's fucking Finn. Like, I was like, dude, there can't be this Finn. I'm the best Finn. Like there can't be another Finn. Like, this isn't possible.
Yeah, when I saw your account, I was like, fuck, there's another Finn. He's from Bali as well. He's coming after me.
But bro, like, the thing is like, actually, like, and this is the spin out for me, man, is like, being IRL, like, it's not a competition. We're not competing.
I actually enjoy it way more because I'm like, I actually have someone that I can relate to. Like, we are going through the same, I would say, journey, and like a very similar timing in terms of accounts starting to blow up and the type of content we're posting, the audience we're getting. Like, we are both on a very similar like pathway, and like I said, it's a personal brand. You can't even see it as competitors. Like, we realistically can't be competitors because I haven't lived your life, you haven't lived mine. And so I think I enjoy that there's actually another person that is in a similar position to me, and you know, you can kind of team up and do content together and share experiences and share lessons and share everything that you're kind of learning. And I feel like it's a much more enjoyable thing rather than me just kind of trying to navigate everything on my own.
Dude, the hardest thing for me was starting, man. And I'll bring it back to that, bro. Like, if it wasn't for having someone else that was around me who was like actually doing the thing, I wouldn't have like made the jump, because I wouldn't have known what it takes. Because it's not fun when you're on your own. Because as entrepreneurs, we're fucking locked up, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally working every hour of the day, and we're literally no idea what we're doing when we're beginning. We don't know what success looks like, because we don't understand the amount of volume and hard effort and sacrifice it takes. And like, being able to like enjoy the process, like, this so far in this trip, I've only known you for 60 hours or 67 hours roughly. But being able to like film with you and have fun, it makes everything so much better. To sharing experiences and living the life of this thing that we've done. Like, we've both come out of the trenches in terms of struggle, starting our own, and I wasn't really going anywhere with this, to be fair, but like,
Did you think your content and your brand and everything you're doing now was what it was going to be when you started?
no. When I started, I thought I was like,
Tired, I don't even remember like why I started.
only people. This is one of those if you know, you knows. I am so sure of where I'm going to be that it's already happened and I'm just that person. And the reality of the current present time didn't match that. So, like, I know I'm going to fucking billionaire, bro. But when I was first getting started, I thought I had to portray myself as that person. I thought I had to be spitting game, spitting business advice, spitting solving problems for everyone. I thought I had to know everything. But what I've learned, especially being around you and other like killer entrepreneurs and content creators, actually not many, I haven't been around many content creators, but being around entrepreneurs, because that's where I come from, entrepreneurship. It's always knowing that everyone is your superior because everyone knows more than you and being consistently learning.
Yeah.
And like, I look at your content and it's good, bro. Like the content, like just let's pull up the short form and the color grading because that's something I feel like I'm decent at. Like, I wouldn't say there's any problems with it, but the fact that you're asking me, wanting to improve, it shows that like there is something you can learn from me, and it's the ability to ask questions from people and apply it and not having to know all the answers and figuring it out as you go. Because like if we live in an infinite reality with infinite possibilities and everything has happened, like everything can happen if there's infinite realities, infinite possibilities, then there is going to be a timeline, which I'm going to make this timeline the one where I'm a billionaire. And I'm going to make sure that I follow the path of being dedicated to the game because there's lots of different ways I can get there. And it's taking it the one step at a time and learning from other people and putting myself in the uncomfortable situation. And I think that is something that is probably the most difficult thing because no one puts themselves in an uncomfortable situation because it's hard, especially when you're on your own. When you're on your own, you're not putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation because you have no accountability to anyone. And that's why when people pay money for advice, for mentors, for businesses, business coaches or whatever, they're only paying that to keep themselves accountable. All the information is out there. All the information is free. But it's a shortcut and a cheat code to pay money to someone to get the outcome that you want. If you can think for yourself and you're a problem solver, you don't need to do that. But it's a lot more fun. It's so much more fun being with other people, having them push you, put it in situations where the net outcome of us being together in terms of this podcast or this content that we create together, the net outcome of that is greater than us individually through the collaboration.
Yeah.
Is that a whole heap of yap?
No, I think it makes sense.
If you can choose to work on your goals and build the dream life, to build the reality that you are set out to build by yourself or with other people.
Yeah, it's like I just weigh it up and I just be like, okay, let's say I am to do this all alone, right? And put in X amount of work, how far would I get? Probably pretty far. But like, let's say I'm surrounded by people that are all making $1 million a month and I'm not making $1 million a month. What's the difference? Like, what is the actual difference here? If every single day I'm speaking with them, I'm having lunch with them, I'm asking them questions, helping me solve problems. We're also really good friends. So obviously just going to help each other. It's like, it's a no-brainer. It's like, I see the value in being surrounded by other people that are all better than me. It's like, why wouldn't I do that? And it's also more enjoyable. It's like 10 times more fun. You get to do way cooler shit. You get to both kind of, like you've probably seen, it's like we can become friends like this because we all have the exact same shared interests.
We have the same name, bro.
We have the same fucking name. And so it's like, it just makes everything, like the whole journey itself is more enjoyable. It's more enjoyable to wake up every day if you're doing it with people that are all on the same journey as you. You also find that like when you're doing everything alone, it's like once you achieve the money, it's like, well, now what? It's like, okay, I've achieved all the things I wanted to achieve, but I'm still alone.
Dude, I'm just going to jump in real quick. where were you going with this? Do you want to take it anywhere?
No, you jump.
Dude, because like I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't need more money, bro. I need more money to make more content. I need more money to make a bigger impact on the world, bro.
Mm.
And like I think this is where most entrepreneurs are like geeking out, bro, because they're like more money, more flexing, basically like more money, more lifestyle, which is sick, but like no one cares. Like everyone's seen the Lambo, everyone's seen the Rolex, everyone's seen the lifestyle, but no one's no like. Can you like in the past 5 years? So, can you name people that like you really look up to for who they are in the like the entrepreneurs?
Yeah, like, you want me to just name people? Just like name. Yeah, for example, like most people probably seen Alfie. He's definitely someone that he's been a mentor to me. I used to work with him. I still do work with him sometimes on some things. Also travel with him and lived with him for a couple months. Like, done a lot of stuff with him. So I would say he's definitely someone I look up to. He's also, I have seen him go from 20K a month to $1 million a month, and I've seen that in real time.
Dude, let me ask you this: does he flex?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Does he live a crazy, wicked lifestyle?
He definitely chases experiences, but he's not like a flexy lifestyle. Like, he is chasing natural highs.
Dude, and I think that's the thing that's so special about your stuff, man.
Mm.
Like, you're that person, and you're tapping into that like healthy frequency, that healthy energy. Because if you look at it from like a positive perspective, it's like you know the meme where it's like you got your farm, your wife, your kids, your organic raw milk, your steak and shit.
Mm.
That's like a pretty healthy life.
Mm.
And that's what you're like chasing after, and that's what I feel like most people would want to feel fulfilled, to have all of the natural chemicals in their brain.
How did you actually get into content?
How did I get into content?
Like, I know was it Toby that kind of
Yeah,
made you take the lead, but like
dude, Naval.
Naval.
Yeah, he has a like code capital content collaboration, the 4 pillars of leverage. And I know if I'm gonna be a billionaire, like I've fundamentally reverse engineered that content is the thing that I can unleash on, because code I don't really know much about. Also, I had the understanding that AI is going to basically replace coders, so why learn that skill? I can just deploy AI and a team of coders. I can pay people to do the coding for me. Facebook was built by a kid who doesn't code. Like it's not a fundamental thing. You can have a co-founder for that. For the coding as well, if you build a SaaS, you build a software company, you don't need a crazy product. You need a crazy marketing strategy. Like you need to have that viral growth to get that thing off the beginning. If you have the most amazing thing and no one knows about it, no one cares.
Mm.
So code was out of rules. Capital, you can there's teams, there's businesses that know capital. You can pay people who like study this shit to like get capital to compound onto itself. And as the better you get, the more capital you make, you'll be able to make more money. And it's just like a positive loop. And then the collaboration, like I'm a very good person with my leadership, with my team. And my actual team has all come through my content. So it made sense in the position that I was in. It's like, okay, well, let's double down on content. Because my team is coming through content, making more money through the marketing through content. It's like a fundamental, foundational skill that will be able to excel me to my first 8 figures. And it was just become a no-brainer. But it was just actually like having that self-belief and not having any limiting doubts to be able to double down on that and actually commit myself to backing myself without copying someone else, man. Because the hardest thing I struggled with was being able to go alone on an uncertain path and back myself, bro. Everyone's got potential. If you go to the graveyard, the cemetery, there's billions of dollars there of just dead people with ideas they never took action on. And taking action and betting on yourself was the one thing that I knew if I did that, it would triple, 100x, million x, whatever. And I can say that because with my content, it has fucking gone crazy on the short form very quickly. Because I was full control and I knew I actually backed myself on it. And so that's like why I see content as such a powerful thing, and why I know I'm going to be one of the biggest entrepreneurs, and I'm going to literally change thousands of people's lives and provide billions and billions of dollars worth of value in the marketplace, I'm never going to see it. Because I've had people that text me saying, dude, I started my own business and I'm making fucking 8K a month. I have people that I've helped make 10K a month. I have had people that our customers, our clients, they're building fucking businesses that are doing like real world businesses, not info businesses, real world e-commerce businesses that are doing 60K a month, 30K a month, 10K a month. And okay, like everyone's flexing 10K a month, 6K a month, whatever. But these people are working 9 to 5s, bro. These people have not had the education to be able to create a dream life for themselves, to be able to work that 4-hour work week. How much more valuable do you think it is for those parents, for those kids, if those parents have money and they have the time to spend with their kids and raise their kids properly? It's the greater impact, and it's being able to charge the market a free rate for the things that they need to be able to execute and apply the learnings for themselves. And it's like comes down to the fundamentals of like, okay, first let's get people to take action. Let's get you to figure out, dial in your health, dial in your sleep, dial in your diet, build your foundation. Then you can learn the next level skill, the sales, the marketing, the content. Then you can do this. But the way I can do that is by building my businesses, building my content, and having that impact which millions of people know who I am. They know what I stand for, and they know if they believe and follow my principles, they follow my path, they will achieve fucking greatness. Because my whole ethos of life is fundamentally be 100% truth seeking. Do not lose the principles that you've developed to get you to where you are, because good things take time, and no one wants to accept that, and it is hard. It is difficult. When things are hard, that's when you go down. That's when you double down. When things are difficult and you have people relying on you and there's actual risks and stakes involved, you have to back yourself, man. You have to believe in yourself, because no one's going to do the work for you. No one's coming to save you. And if you don't believe yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. And that's the whole ethos, coming back to content, how it's going to build into the business, and how it's going to be a $1 billion play. And it's not billions of dollars to like make more money. It's to have the biggest possible impact possible, because if a billionaire can't be bought and they don't need the money, and they can deploy that capital, which is energy, to make the world a better place, and like simple things like cheaper healthcare, cheaper fundamental things that people struggle with. Like let's say you're a close friend of mine and you have some specific issue with your teeth, right? And like oral care is expensive, and like it's like I care about you, and there's other people that have this problem. Then it's like, okay, well then let's have an incentive program where people have this issue with their teeth. It just gets solved for them, because we live in an infinitely abundant universe, and everything that's like fundamental to be a human right should be free. Information is one of those things, and through my content I can provide that, and I can allow the market to better themselves and improve their life. But it's going to take time, and that's why like in the beginning it was so hard, because I knew where I was, I knew who I'm going to be, and it just took so much energy and dedication to be able to get over that first learning loop, to like really bring myself down to zero and just put in the work, build something of value, which in the marketplace right now is being the content, being the personal brand, and then being able to start with that and then take the next step, and then build proof and credibility along the way, so that people don't need to pay money to believe me. They can just see my proof and then just fundamentally trust if they do this, it will occur. And that to me is a life worth living, and it's something that I've had a few times in my life for myself, which I've learned from other people ahead of me, and it's impacted me so much that it's like I need to do this for everyone. So yeah, man, that's how I got into content.
Let's go. I think we can wrap it up with that, bro. That was some fucking value. That was some fucking game. But yeah, this is our first potty. Is this your first podcast?
Ever.
First ever podcast, and we're both going back to Bali, so I can imagine that not only the Niseko, not only the Tokyo vlogs are gonna fucking bang. I'm excited to see the cross-pollination of content now that we've all been filming content together with Marcel, with me, with you. So I'm excited to see how that kind of translates, because I've seen how it is with you and Toby. So I think it's going to be fucking cool. But then also, yeah, now that we're going to be going back to Bali, we're both going to be there for the next couple months. I could imagine me and you are going to get up to some pretty cool shit, and we're going to do some pretty big things and have a pretty big impact.
Yeah, man.
And probably run another podcast when we're back there.
Yeah, with lights that work and an audience that's not there.
Let's fucking go.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate this.